Hello, my name is Clint with the Breakfast Brigade, and today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. Let's get started, shall we? This is The Consuming Shadow by one Yahtzee Croshaw, and I've heard it compared to something like a cross between FTL, Arkham Horror, and Eternal Darkness. I don't know if that's entirely true. I think there are a couple new Grounds games in there somewhere, but I'll let you judge. Our default character we're going to be going with is the Scholar. He doesn't exactly start with much to his name, not much money, not much in the way of know-how, but, well, he's the one with the least strings attached, even if he does have a wife and children constantly dragging him down. So we're going to be going with. Because my goal is to demonstrate exactly how easy it is to complete the game and get the best ending, I'm going to be giving him as few resources as possible. Let's get right started. Oh, yeah, also I can kill myself if I so desired, but I don't feel like it just yet. That'll change. So this is the Birth Star screen. We can give ourselves additional resources, but, well, we don't exactly need much in the way of additional resources in order to thrive, so I'm going to be putting 1 full point into health, 1 full point into sanity. Take a look at anything else that looks pretty and completely ignore it. Fortunately, there's nothing too tempting anyways, so, well, besides the Hunter, that's quite powerful, but literally waste all of the others. You can get 2 Birth Stars absolutely effortlessly by killing yourself repeatedly. And we've got ourselves our first text. It's completely automated, so it doesn't actually mean anything. It just tells us what to expect from the game. Yeah, so go to a place that is bad if you want to find information on how to save the world. You have 60 hours to save the planet from the invading old god. And there are 3 actual gods who are currently slipping their way through. You need to find out which one actually has any interest in invading. This one's just a process of elimination, because the 3rd one is working against them, which means that the 3rd one is usually the enemy of both of them. So if you find out which one is unpopular, you can eliminate it down to 2. Now we just need to find clues as to what these gods are. Let's go to a dangerous place and hopefully find something important. While we're driving along in this lovely little time lapse, we can receive text messages like this. And what we've just gotten here is our very first random little mission. "8 hours away, that's not too bad." We can go right there, and if you accomplish that mission, you can actually save the town. If you don't accomplish that mission in time, that town is going to fall to the shadow, and you're going to have 1 less safe foothold in order to resupply and heal yourself. Considering our character is a complete bellend who started the mission with 15 pounds sterling, that won't be happening much just yet. We need to actually earn ourselves some stuff. So, let's get started, shall we? Enter the dungeon and see just what we've gotten ourselves into. Now, I do believe this text here, while random, does have some influence on what sort of town this will be. And what we've gotten here is a storage facility. This is a warehouse, so there's going to be a lot of physical goods here, but not a hell of a lot in the way of information. Usually just 1 guaranteed piece of information. And what we've got ourselves here is our first monster. Hit its butt and move right along. They're not exactly dangerous if you know how to deal with them, but if you do, just keep your distance and maybe try to hit them in the face, you'll take a lot of damage, and taking a lot of damage is a good way to lose your mind. Sanity, it needs to be said, is an advantage in this game. Oh. We have ourselves an enemy. Huh. A coffer. It's not really safe to deal with them anyway, besides shooting them, I've found. A shm rune. White and shm. That's just a contextual clue, I'm afraid. It's not actually useful. We just know that whatever the white god is either directly associated with that rune, or is friends with the god associated with that rune, and unfortunately there's no real way to be sure of what. But let's just try casting it, shall we? Strangely reassuring. And that's just about the only way of regaining sanity. There are a couple others, but you can't rely on them. Let's get real here, you can't really rely on any method of regaining sanity. Once you've gone barking, well, you're kinda screwed. Oh, and we have ourselves a corpse. Corpses are another vital piece of forensics. Oh, no. Nope, that's not a corpse that's helpful, I'm afraid. Let's just wait here for a little bit. Wait for the wave of dread to pass. And get going. Oh hey, another coffer, huh? Case in point. Not exactly the best way to deal with those guys, but I didn't feel like expending any more ammunition than I absolutely had to. Alright. We've completed our first mission, and hopefully this will give us any information whatsoever. Previous visiting occult investigator. The ministry's been busy, I take it? Okay, so this is the important part. We need to go to Stonehenge once we've completed this particular spell, and we know exactly what god to banish. And we found that the second syllable of this 4-syllable spell is the name of the thing we intend to banish. So, that's something. Blah, something, blah, blah. Here are the runes here, and you theoretically could just brute force your way to figuring out the spells. There are several utility spells you can cast through this system, but they take a heavy toll on your mind, and experimenting is a good way to just blow your own brain straight out of your ears. I don't recommend doing this. So let's head our way over here. Okay, so normally I would ignore every single text because I don't need this shit, but let's check it out. Okay. Fortuitous. You've just gained random money from a family member because they care about daddy. Alright, we have ourselves a mission here. Wasn't exactly paying attention to what. Oh, hey. It's a dungeon. It's a dungeon. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Find and destroy a nest. Usually this sort of mission gives you, like, a boss monster or something. But the nest mission is always beat up some eggs because, quite frankly, we don't need that in our town. We don't like that kind of people around here, you know? And we found ourselves in the garden. Found ourselves in the overgrown garden map, and these ones are something of a crapshoot. You could get almost anything in these ones, and... oh hey! Hollow point bullets, let's demonstrate. Yeah. Avada Kedavra, right? That was a spitter. They're a bit like the lying figure enemies in Silent Hill. They cough up things from their knuck stump at you, and they don't go down. They don't take much fuss before they go down. I was hoping I could just run him down, but No such luck. We still don't know if the Shum rune is directly associated with the White God. Well, it could be the cultists who are scribbling these down, and the cultists don't necessarily represent the interests of the god either, so maybe that's not reliable, but White and Shum does seem to be pretty, associated, you know? They seem to be pretty obsessive. In fact, they can't even shut up about it. We found ourselves a key, so we won't have to try to pick our way through this, which is normally a bit of a crapshoot on the best of days. Oh, hey, cool. And I am absolutely just dropping the baby, aren't I? Oh, hey, we've got ourselves our first condition. So, anxiety... Anxiety makes your hands shake. And basically makes you absolutely worthless as a marksman. Okay, so we've found ourselves our first spell. Shum and On causes strange calm and cures the anxiety effect at the expense of your sanity. Not worth. Totally not worth it. These ones are not hard to deal with. Little buzzers, you gotta run away from them until they reach a stop and then punch them in the face. There are larger versions of them later on that you have to do the same thing repeatedly with, but you can just unlock them. They're not dangerous either, except in great numbers. And we get rewarded with money and lots of it. Alright. So this is our first opportunity to shop. Let's do that. And we have an opportunity to buy some painkillers. Well, tranquilizers. This is an accessory. You have this equipped. It just wards off anxiety. It just does. And some bullets. Hollow points aren't exactly economical, but armor piercers are. Let's get 2 of them and return to our car. Just... No. Alright. So here's the important thing. Patch ourselves up using our own personal medkit. That brings our supplies down to 60%, which is more than I probably expected. And go and refill a medkit in a walk-in clinic for the homeless. And just like that, we've effectively spent all of our money. So we're back to where we started, but we don't have a gaping hole in our chest. I'd say that's a net gain, right? So we have absolutely no idea where to go, so let's just drive to the place that's closest to all of the locations so we don't get too off the narrow beaten path, right? And the ministry is already pestering us with something to do. Oh. Right, tea. Right. This should be a good opportunity to mention that this ties in with several of other works of one Yahtzee Croshaw, and tea is important. Oh. Yeah, this is bad. If I had a pentagram necklace, I could probably deal with this. But I don't. So I'm going to have to make a tough choice. There's no real good choice here, I'm afraid. Oh, dear. So our engine has been damaged, and that will permanently slow our run for the rest of the game. That's really bad news at this point in the game. There are ways to speed your car back up, but not without great investment. I'm afraid my run hasn't exactly been as informative as it could be, but... Oh hey, another forest. Alright, let's dive face first into the garden and recover an occult text. I prefer these little garden places to the warehouses because at least you're running the chance of getting more than one. You know what? I've had enough of you. More than one piece of evidence. And you need every last piece of evidence you can get, even if you can just guess the identity of the invading god. I highly recommend not guessing the identity of the invading god, because that can just cause you to lose instantly. You have, like, what, 30 hours remaining, you have every last piece of the spell, and you guess wrong, and oh hey, a discarded muffler. This can be for the best, but it may also be more of a hindrance than a help. It reduces the chance of getting random events just while driving, but by the same token, it reduces the chance of getting good things to happen. You know what? No. Okay. So let's find that text, shall we? It's not exactly being generous with the information here. I'd like to have something to... Okay, so a new red god. Red likes the KZ. And we've, just like that, regained what little of our sanity was missing. By chit-chatting with an unknowable, dark, and hungry thing. Okay, this is good to know. The only information you really need is the rune, the color, and the domain. The name of the god is not necessarily important, but what we know here is the god who's associated with lust doesn't care. So, we have our table here. Aspect. Lust. Agenda. Not the invader. So we have a red and a white god. A shum and a kuz. Oh hey, cool. I don't want any. Okay, so we've unleashed a horror, and it's going to chase us down, and it's not going to stop. So this is an exception to the rule. Normally you will want to kill every monster that comes your way, but in this case you just want to run, because there's no stopping it. This is normally where you waste most of your supplies on a run, because you cannot afford to just stop and bludgeon the monsters with your pistol, right? Well, that's about all we can be done for this place. Oh. I feel like I should mention the illegal drugs here. They can curtail the effects of missing sanity, but they're temporary. They wear off, and if you resort to them early, they stop doing shit. And a text. Kidley. We're already driving there. Which means that this place is not infested. Which is good. Because I feel like buying something. Not dissimilarly to myself. Alright. Now, I feel this should go without saying, but I do highly recommend getting this game yourself, although I don't necessarily recommend doing so at the expense of, say, food. Don't skip your breakfast, kiddos. Skateboard pads. Prevents broken limbs. Important! No, seriously, if you can afford it, get these. Broken limbs are probably one of the worst things that can happen to you in this game. Well, not the worst, but it be bad, yo. Sahil? Drive our way over to Sheepshagger Land. Oh, sorry about that. No. Absolutely not. Yeah, that's the other thing. Just randomly accepting every single text that comes your way can have an adverse effect on your sanity. For instance, T here is a bit of a bellend. He's so important that he thinks that it's a-okay to let strangers know that he feels that it's about time to off himself. Thanks! I needed that on my plate right now! Yes. Yes. So this place seems to have a air of social gathering. Let's just hope. Huh. This place has a little hostel. A little tenement. Find and exterminate a boss monster. Okay, so we've established that White hates EU. Of course, we can't exactly just... Let's just assume that this is the Shm god, right? Now, this isn't exactly the most organized way to do things, because the White god may well turn out to be the god of lust right there. But how you use that table is entirely up to you. It's just a way of keeping your facts straight, being the Mr. Detective that you are. Essentially, that's what this game is at its core, is just a little knights and knaves where you figure out which one of these gibbering horrors wants to eat my brains, and which one of them can't actually survive in this realm long enough to do so. I'm being a bit lackadaisical about explaining how to deal with these enemies, but I don't really feel like explaining how to deal with the spitters because they're a bit pathetic anyways. If you get in a spitter's face and start beating him up, he'll panic and start fleeing. You can swat their attacks out of the air with your little melee attack here, but it's usually best to have some sort of plan that involves not leaving everything to blind chance, I'm afraid, so I usually prefer to just waste ammunition on those guys. We're not exactly getting a... Oh hey, it's our first giant buzzer. And just like that, you can easily stunlock them to death. And we're getting loaded for bear. And we have the key too. Alright. 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 Moving right the fuck along. That wound up being way more literal than I hoped I would have been. So, Gnix is not necessarily our friend. He may well be Here's the boss monster. Run beneath the little shower appliance and beat it up. Keep light on your feet, because if it's able to get the right angle on you, it can cause a hurt in a hurry. The last symbol of the dispel is BT. Important. So, the results of this puzzle are completely randomized every single time you do this game, and what I choose here... Well, that's useless. What I come across here may not well be representative of your run whatsoever. The God of Lust may well be the invader. The God of Lust may not exist in your game. But that's all part of the fun, isn't it? Roguelikes. Okay, so floaters are absolute fucking headaches. If you can knock their bits off the screen, you can deal with them without having to deal with their little detritus that goes flying everywhere, but Unfortunately, my limbs are nowhere near long enough to do so safely. And as such, I have a nasty habit of becoming injured when dealing with them in even the most half-hearted of ways. Alright, enough out of you. Large buzzers, still not much of a threat unless there's several of them. And there is a chance you can come across several monsters at once, and that's not exactly swell. Okay, so cleared out the evil here, but the thing worth remembering is this town, the damage has been done. You can't exactly save what's already been exterminated, and even if you just saved a town that wasn't necessarily exterminated, the troubles aren't going to end just because you shot a bunch of things full of holes. Unknown numbers, not exactly the best thing to open randomly, but why not? Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's refill our medkit. Take a look at what this place has for sale. Decide that we absolutely hate everything, and get moving. Now, because our car is driving that much slower, it's going to take us that much longer to get places. We're going to have that much less time to figure out how... What? Will you shut up? Oh my god! Okay. Bleston. There's no way in hell I can get there in time. Congratulations, you killed someone. And I am just having an absolute field day with just dropping the baby here. Okay, so the next town, as we can tell by the fog in the air, isn't going to be welcoming. So let's patch ourselves up. Okay, so everything's getting fuzzy because my character's starting to lose his marbles. It won't be long now before I start seeing things, and when I start seeing things, I'm going to start wasting ammunition, time. It's not going to be fun. Alright. Another public park. What I'd really like to find is an office building. Those are usually chock full of information, but beggars can't be choosers. What usually winds up happening is that you can find something out through just circumstantial evidence, like corpses and runes on the walls. And then you usually just find one piece of evidence the game absolutely refuses to divulge. Okay. 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 We found ourselves a corpse. And it just told us exactly what the domain of the ruling god in this domain is. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'll leave that one to your imagination, but usually if it's not lust, if it's something else, the corpse will reflect that. The god of pain is not the invading god. Let's wait for the wave of dread to pass. And it appears we have not summoned a horror to chase after us. Let's keep searching. We found ourselves a crawler. Further. They're usually not too bad to deal with, but the things they spawn can overwhelm you, and you do have to time your attacks carefully in order to come out of it unscathed. Floater. And I'm not having the most luck here. Upside down KZ. White hates KZ. Okay. Just by process of elimination. I may have messed that up. Now, normally, what one of your best hopes for here is that they just line up for you. But, I'm nowhere near that lucky. If they just line up for you, you can take out both of them with a single armor piercer. But that's not happening. Shm. White and shm. Because white is not the invader, that would mean that the other ally of this god is. Cool. I hate you. Stop breathing. And there you go. You can just push them right off the screen and not suffer any ill effects, but it's not always possible. Just a friendly reminder that we're dealing with a god of lust here. And that the corpses generated by this god are not the prettiest. Dusty jewelry. Another floater. Hi, floater, how you doing? Heh. White is shm. Let's get out of here. You may be able to tell, time is ticking down in real time, and I've just successfully batted away a floater without injuring myself, and I feel quite proud of myself for that. Okay,